Another episode of Site Visit. Today we are in Charlestown. We haven't been here in a couple of weeks, and mainly because it's been so tight and they've been doing so much work so quickly, and we're basically fast forwarding right to almost the final product here. The kitchen, and I'm gonna look for some before photos, so hopefully I can find those. This used to be a small little galley kitchen. It was less than 8 feet wide here, and this was the addition that we added on right in this location. This used to be a back deck. Now it's a wide open, beautiful, beautiful kitchen. We've been working on this project with Winslow Design as well as Kelly McGill Home as the interior designer, and just the entire team has done a fantastic job of setting, managing, and delivering on the expectations. So I just wanted to take a moment to kind of walk through some of the things. As we walk in, we have this awesome bar rail, but underneath this seating area, we've actually added some additional storage behind this island. So this island is really deep. Traditionally, it's under 4 feet in this width, but we had the depth here. We had the room for a dining table over in this area. So we snuck some additional storage in, which when we set out to do this kitchen, not only did we want it larger, we also wanted some additional storage, which looks really great under here. All the countertops are a neolith, which is a porcelain material. We've talked about this before, but I wanted to call attention to, so this was a last minute change. Something that we've been doing a lot more is separating the dissimilar material between the wood floor and the stone, and we've actually added a piece of solid brass here. It is unlacquered, so it's gonna tarnish over time, just like the faucet, the pot filler, and hardware. We want it to tarnish over time. But this right here creates a really intentional separation between the stone and the wood. So you get that nice crisp white line with the stone, and then that brass just kind of keeps it up off the floor. Our buddy Rich over at Costa Fabrication fabricated that for us right before the stone went in. We have our true figs already installed in the stone here. So this will actually get painted to match the stone in that faux finish. You can actually see it over on this location as well on either side of the range. You can see nice centered on either side, completely flush. Once it's painted, it will be nearly invisible. Really great hardware too. This is all Waterworks fixtures for the pot filler as well as the faucet in the sink. Really classy looking. You know, there's a lot of modern elements to it, but it's a very classic looking kitchen, like the modern porcelain, but it has that classic looking marble to it without the maintenance. Let's talk about this backsplash here. So this backsplash, continuous stone, and as you stand back here, this veining actually continues through. So you get that almost monolithic look as though it was carved out of one piece of stone. And speaking of stone, take a look at this hood. So this hood is a plastered finished hood. It has that really limestone look to it. Some of the details that I really appreciate that we executed upon was separating the hood from the ceiling, the wall, and there's that really intentional 1/8 inch gap. We used basically a thickness of a ram board, put a stop bead. Colby and his team over at Trowel Inc. did a great job plastering this, but it essentially allows this to look as though it's a limestone carved hood pushed up against the ceiling. It would never be that tight fit, so that little shadow gap gives it that separation that it needs. And then obviously an industrial hood that vents out to the outside. Getting into some of the cabinetry, I know this cabinet here, one of the design features are these dowels. So these dowels are on a pin. Pull it out here. You have that metal pin, you can actually move them around. What that allows you to do is put them in any location that you want, basically hugging the side of plates. So as you're opening the drawers, opening and closing them, they're not sliding around within the drawer. Up here we have some utensil dividers, and then that secondary drawer behind it with the spice rack. So the face frames are a square shaker. Doors are a shaker panel, but with a slightly different bead. It's actually about a 3/16 wide half round bead versus the more traditional quarter round that would bring you to the panel. Something that we came up with when we had done the bathroom renovation here, and we've kind of brought it down to this space to be consistent throughout the entire home. This lovely fridge is made by, no, I'm just kidding. So if you guys are paying attention to the supply chain, refrigerators, we ordered this right when we started the project, and unfortunately we've had delay after delay, but we're told that it's going to be here in just a few weeks, and this will be a paneled refrigerator and freezer drawer, so everything will be built in, completely integrated. It is a Sub-Zero, and Yale Appliance was nice enough to rent this to our client or actually basically put it as a placeholder for our client, so they had a refrigerator in this working kitchen. Looping around, we have our working side of the island. We have a great big trash unit here, fabricated in our shop. We also have our utensil drawer here. One thing, anytime we do have a utensil drawer, it's really important if you can get down under here, you can actually see there's a full dust bottom. So when these drawers are shut, you're not transferring any of that trash into the utensils above. Moving around, we have that awesome Shaw apron sink. Again, that waterworks faucet with the sprayer. Obviously a disposal in here. We're actually gonna be doing a disposal switch that's in the countertop. Tim, the super on this job, and I were talking, as well as Liz, about trying to incorporate that into possibly matching the stone, something that we're exploring with built-in or integrated dishwasher, I should say. So when everything's closed, has that nice integrated front. Over here, we're actually waiting on a brass shelving unit that will hang from the ceiling for display, but it sits in front of this awesome Neolith backsplash, and the guys they've installed this dimmable LED that shines down in front of that stone. So when the overhead task lighting is off, if I can do that, it gives it that really cool look, but you don't actually see the actual unit because they had pocketed everything up, and that stone actually rolls up about 2 inches or so. Going into our pantry, small, tight space. They've packed a lot in here. First off, you get that Neolith backsplash that goes all the way up, and you have the floating shelves with the matching Neolith that they've fabricated. These are installed on steel brackets. For whatever reason, you guys ask all the time what steel brackets we use. We typically order them from Centerline. They get mounted to the side of the stud and give us some strong rigidity for floating shelf units like this. On one side, we have some really deep drawers, and on the other side, we have a great beverage fridge. So adding some additional refrigeration in this pantry. I love this detail. We did this a couple of years ago in the south end. We actually took these doors and split them down the middle with these sauce hinges, allowing these to bifold out and away, which also allowed us to put a much bigger shelf rather than having this door swing in the way. But you can also leave them open and have this cabinet completely functional. We have a tucked in microwave here, so you're not looking at it. But then you can take that door and shut it. We got our temporary tape pulls until our hardware gets installed. And same thing on this side. You can open that up. And then this is a great area for a coffee maker, a blender, something like that. Imagine coming in here in the morning and being able to make your coffee, maybe make a bagel, keep everything tucked away off the counters so it's not in the beautiful kitchen, or worrying about having to put things away. You can kind of do your thing and then shut this and have it be its own little area. We have a temporary pocket door in here right now, but I do want to talk about it because over here, we are still working outside, but over here is actually the back steps to the exterior. This is a Marvin unit. It's a Marvin exterior pocket door. So what that means is obviously this door slides into this wall pocket. Now, one of the things that have come up in conversation a lot is like, oh my gosh, how do you do that? I've never seen an exterior pocket door. I want to simplify this because if you think about a regular slider, typically you'd have a door and then another panel to the right of it, and that door would just slide in front of it. It's very similar to that. You're just basically burying that other slab in the wall. The guys in the shop then took this Marvin door profile and modified everything to match. So we have all of the same sticking, all of the same mullions, all of the same detailing, and that will be emulated over here on this pocket door. Like I said, this is just a temporary blank slab, but it will be a matching pocket door. And the reason that we built it in-house is so it would match perfectly. So when this door is shut and that door is shut, you have complete and utter balance between the two, and they look alike. So wanted to give you guys a sneak peek. We also have some scope up on the 3rd floor. We built a beautiful bedroom up there with some killer views. We'll show you that in a future episode. Maybe we'll tease you guys with a couple shots, but this space is coming together really well. I'm excited to see it finished. I know Kelly and her team have a great banquette for over in this dining area, and we have some other scope to complete throughout the space. Big shout out to the entire team, especially Liz and Tim, who don't want to be on camera, but they are here wrapping up for the day as the cleaners leave for the weekend. So guys, thank you for watching another episode of this week's site visit. We'll see you next week. Make sure you tune in to Revealed. If you guys want to see the behind the scenes of how this kitchen was fabricated, there's been previous episodes in the Revealed series walking through a lot of these fabrication details as well as the installation details. And make sure you check out the NS podcast. We'll see you guys then.